Picture May 1987. A 23-year-old Canadian man, Kenneth Parks, gets off his couch in the dead of night.
Right?
He drives 22 kilometers down the highway to his in-laws' house, uses a spare key, and commits a brutal murder.
And the truly chilling part is he did the entire thing completely asleep.
Exactly. He was ultimately acquitted, which really sets the stage for today's deep dive. Our mission today, for you, the listener, is to explore a highly detailed video transcript we've got here. It breaks down the science, the true crime anomalies, and just the biological mysteries of somnambulism.
Yeah, the Parks case really shatters that traditional assumption of sleep being this simple on and off switch. The sources we're analyzing today highlight just how complex and honestly occasionally dangerous that intermediate state can get.
Okay, let's unpack this, because we're looking specifically at stage 3 NREM, right? Which is a really interesting detail from the transcript.
Yeah, because you'd naturally associate complex physical actions with the vivid dreams of REM sleep.
Right, but this anomaly actually occurs during our deepest sleep phase.
What's fascinating here is the neurological paradox. The brain's motor control center is entirely active.
Letting them walk or even drive.
Exactly, while the consciousness center remains fully offline. And there's this 2021 study mentioned in our sources that completely upends the historical understanding of this state.
Because for decades, the medical assumption was that a sleepwalking episode was driven by a spiked sympathetic nervous system, like essentially a panic response.
Right, but the data actually showed elevated parasympathetic responses instead.
Which is completely counterintuitive.
It really is. Their bodies are actively locked into a calm, resting profile. The physical movement is happening, but without the physiological markers of stress or panic you'd expect from someone blindly navigating a house in the dark.
That neurological disconnect leads to some truly bizarre abilities.
Yeah.
The transcript highlighted the case of Lee Hadwin, the British-Australian artist.
Oh, the sleep painter.
Yes. He paints these intricate, stunning portraits while sleepwalking, but has literally zero artistic ability when he's awake.
It's wild. It demonstrates the unusual access to different neural pathways when conscious inhibition is removed. Now, while sleep painting is rare, the condition itself isn't. The data shows 6.9% of people will experience somnambulism.
And it's heavily genetic.
Highly genetic. If both your parents have a history of it, you're looking at a 61.5% chance of doing it too.
Here's where it gets really interesting for anyone listening. Even without that genetic predisposition, everyday factors act as massive triggers.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about severe sleep deprivation and extreme stress, which, are pretty common in modern life.
Those everyday stressors basically force the brain to struggle with the transition between deep sleep cycles. The system essentially gets stuck halfway between waking and deep sleep.
So what does this all mean when those stressors lead to something catastrophic? Because the legal minefield here is intense.
It's incredibly complicated.
Going back to Kenneth Parks, the court acquitted him because a body committing a crime without a guilty mind, without intent, just couldn't be held legally culpable. But the transcript contrasts that with the 1997 case of Scott Felliter.
Right. Felliter also claimed somnambulism after murdering his wife, but the jury completely rejected the defense.
And the key difference was the complexity and perceived purposefulness of his post-crime actions.
Yeah, he didn't just commit the act. He took off his bloody clothes, hid them in a plastic bag, and stashed the murder weapon in the spare tire of his car.
So the jury decided that level of sequential, evasive planning really crossed the line from a biological anomaly into conscious intent. It shows how difficult it is for courts to litigate the boundaries of consciousness.
It does. And on a more practical level for your everyday life, if you encounter someone in this state, the old advice of never waking a sleepwalker holds true, but not because it'll give them a heart attack.
Right, it simply causes severe disorientation.
Exactly. The source material emphasizes focusing purely on physical safety. Gently guide them back to bed.
And if you live with someone who sleepwalks, you just need to secure the environment, lock the doors, move sharp objects, install safety gates.
Basically, focus on managing the environment rather than trying to snap them out of it. If we connect this to the bigger picture, somnambulism isn't supernatural. It is a profound, documentable, biological overlap between wakefulness and deep sleep.
It forces us to recognize that consciousness isn't always a binary state.
Right.
Which leaves us with a lingering question for you to ponder. If the human brain is demonstrably capable of driving a car down the highway, cooking a meal, or painting a masterpiece while entirely unconscious, how much of your daily waking life is actually driven by conscious choice? And how much is just your biological autopilot running the show? Something to think about next time you find yourself staring blankly into the fridge.